Hello everyone, welcome again, and today I'm going to start a video series on the Specflow tutorial, and so this is the part 1 of the series. So let's switch to Visual Studio and let's see how to set up the Visual Studio for the Specflow automation, with both for the BDD automation and how to install the Specflow plugins and all the required things. So first we need under the Specflow, we need a Specflow from the NuGet package, and these are the Specflow.NuGet and the build tool to build it, and some NUnit libraries and some Selenium libraries. So let's switch to the Visual Studio, and here I'm on the Visual Studio. Let's start a new project, completely new project, and let's see how to set up Specflow. Just click create a new project in a Visual Studio. Just hit the file, new, and then project, and here I'm going to select a Windows desktop application. You can see console application. So Specflow, I'm going to name it like Specflow tutorial. When I hit the OK button, it will create a completely new project for me. And in this new project, we are going to set up the Specflow. So this is my dummy file, the first file, the execution file. This is the program.cs. So I do not need this. Now just install the Specflow plugin. So where we get that plugin, just right click on the project, switch to the manage NuGet package. This is the one way to hit manage NuGet package. If you don't if you want to other, so just hit in the tool and NuGet package manager. You can use the console also console workspace also. So here you can pass the directly key or the command to install it, or you can just switch to the package manager solution. Here it is. And if you search here for the Specflow, so you will get some suggestions like a Specflow and these things. So I create a bunch of setups like which versions you have to use for the better result or to work it without errors. So we need a Specflow 2.3.2 version. So if you can see, the current version is 3.0. So we are going to work on the old versions, some kind of stable versions. So let's select the project versions here. So we need exactly 2.3.2. so everything will be same, and I'm going to click on this install, click on accept. Under the output module, it's going to be installed. You can see the process here. So you can see the all the references related to Specflow. Now if I'm going to right click on the project and click on add and new item, still I didn't get any option to add a Specflow or feature file. So let's install the other things. So we need a Specflow and NUnit. So I'm going to copy this and just paste it here. So same version, we'll check for it for NUnit. The next thing we need is Specflow tool MSWill. Just trying to install, and it will take some time. And after installing this also, if you didn't get any kind of a Specflow options to get the feature file, to add the feature file, will show you the another step how can you install the extension of Specflow in your extensions of Specflow in your machine. So I think it's done now. It's process. Okay, one more thing we need to install mainly is MSWill Tool. Will create your test cases build your test cases and create a test runner for you. So again, the same version we need, 2.3.2. It's also done. Now let's try one more time. If I click on add and new items, so still we didn't get any option here for the Specflow. Let's try another extension. Like you need to add extension for this. Just go on a tool, extensions, and go on online, click on online and search here for the Specflow. So you can see the Specflow for Visual Studio 2017. Just hit the download button and you can read the message here. Your changes will be scheduled. The modification will begin when all the Microsoft Visual Studio window are closed. So you need to restart this. So when I click on close, so you can see the installation of Specflow on your machine is started. It's going to install a Specflow setup in your machine. Just click on the modify. Okay, the installation is done now. Let's close it and again run the Visual Studio. So I'm gonna open the recent project which we have created, like a Specflow tutorial, and if I open this, now let's try again to create a feature file for the BDD automation. So when I right click, and you can see the newly option here, the Specflow. From this you can create a feature file which is the main file of this tutorial, or you can say the runner profiles. You can create a Specflow step definition file from here. So the very first we are going to create a feature file. So I'm gonna provide a meaningful name like home.feature. Like if I'm gonna write a SDKs for the home page of any application, so it will be the home.feature. So when I created this file and yeah, you can see here the file, the very first the feature is the feature name of your file, which is home, and the name you provide in order to this the dummy content here. I'm going to just remove this. This is the take. Will show you will talk about talk about these later. So this is your scenario and the Gherkin syntax. So this is the language which is easily to understand for human. Like BDD, the main focus of the BDD is to provide a particular. This is the scenarios. Scenario. If you talk about the scenarios, like what is the my test case. So this is in the Gherkin language, or Gherkin is a simple language which is totally written in the simple language, like which is easy to understand for the business developer or the BD or client as well. Also, client can also understand what exactly we are going to automate in the application. So we'll connect these lines, this line of this English line of code with the source code, and I have like for example here is a dummy data is there. Like the scenario is add two numbers. So in the given condition, what will be my precondition? Like I have entered 50 into calculator, and the next end I have entered 70 in the calculator. When I press add button, then the result should be 120 on the screen. So we'll see. So we need a step definition class for this. Like a step definition class is like how to this lines will work. So we need to write some code there. So if I click on the go to definition, it will generate a code for me. Till now we don't have any step definition class, so we need to create the new the step definition class for this home. Let's create a new step definition class. Just right click on this project and click on add, and again go into the new item, and here you can see the Specflow step definitions. So I'm gonna name it like home steps, like home page steps, or you can say home steps, home page steps. So here is the file, and now you can see this the color is changed purple to black. So now it's linked with related to scenario. So for now I'm going to remove this everything, and we'll create our own definitions. Now you can see the color again in purple. So if I want to create a step definition for this line, so I just right click, go to definition, it will generate the source code, some line of code for me. When I click yes, it will copy my code, and I'm going to switch to step definition. I'm going to paste this. Now you can see that is the color is changed. For example, this scenario, this 50 will comes under the inside this variable which is called p0. So we can name it like a, the value of a. So for example, I'm going to console this, console dot write line, I'm going to print a, which will be the value of a. The very next I have entered the 70 in the calculator. So once this line will execute, it will redirect with the same it will link with the same definition. If I'm going to whenever this line will run, and it will also link with the same definition. So the value it will show will create a equals to 70, and the second time it will go goes to 50. So when I press add, like I'm going to click on the add button, so I'm going to type the definition for this also. For example, I'm going to console this one also as an add button. Click to add button, and finally the result. So we can check the result, or we can console this value also. So I'm going to pass the p0. Let's execute the code and check the result, what output we are getting. So here is my test ticket scenario. Right click on this and click on the run as test ticket. It's showing me it's recommended to refresh Nougat tested after test solution when test ticket is finished. Does not reference any .NET Nougat adapter. So we need adapter here. So let's again go to in the extension and search for any unit test adapter. Just switch to online and any unit. So I'm going to install this NUnit 3 test adapter. Download it again. We need to restart this. Okay, it's going to install this. Let it be installed completely, then we'll start the Visual Studio again and execute our test case. Done. So let's just start the Visual Studio again. Run the recent project. Now let's wait to come test cases here in this Text Explorer window, and now then get it. Now it's there. I just right click on the 8 to number scenario and just run it.
This time it's converted and one test case is there which is passed. Let's check the output for this, and you can see the value of A is 51 first time and the 70 then 20. So this is the way which how can you work with a BDD framework. And the next video we will see the real-time application, how we can log in, how can we can load a URL, how can we connect with a web application, and we continue. In the next upcoming series we will create a complete page object model framework for this, and we'll continue. This is the basic introduction about the feature file and the step definition. How can we create a feature file, how can we create a step definition, how can we convert them, how can we link them, and how can we execute a test cases in BDD using Specflow. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this video and if you have any kind of query related to this tutorial, you can comment me in the below section, and you can comment me below, or you can visit the code1.com also for providing your feedback. And if you want any kind of if you're facing any kind of difficulty in this, you can comment this. We'll try to solve it. Thank you.